The passing of Joe Platt on July 10, 2012, brings deep sadness to all members of the Harvey College community. Joe led an extraordinary life. We are very grateful to have had such a visionary founding president, and we're honored to carry forward his commitment to undergraduate science and engineering education that deeply embraces the humanities, social sciences, and the arts.
I know I speak for all of us in saying how grateful we are for the time and the thought and the wisdom that you have given us today, Dr. DeBridge. Given us something to think about in 1959, and I think it will stand the test of 2059.
So how did we grow from being an idea to being an institution? Well, the idea was a good idea. That helped.
The most satisfying thing is always a commencement. That's it's always gratifying to find that we've got another bunch of seniors who are about to go out and see what they can do with a Harvey Mudd education.
The measure of the contribution of a college or a university is the record of its graduates. And our graduates have done well.
Another very satisfying thing from the early days is that we got some really quite able people on the faculty.
I believe we have a student body and a faculty of which we can be proud.
Well, as a matter of fact, I rather enjoyed being president. Well, 50 years ago, Harvey Mudd College had several trustees and a charter. Had no students, no alumni, no faculty. And now we have 5,000 alumni, a number of whom are at real risk of amounting to something. We'll be very interested to see what the next 50 years brings.
So what do you have to say about Joe Platt, a man who joins Frank Sinatra and Gene Autry in having a street named after him?
He is a model of the consummate educator, and his dedication to both educational equity and quality provides a beacon of inspiration on a national and international plane.
Apparently one of the trustees was opposed to the notion of having women. There were many engineering colleges and science colleges in the country that did not allow women yet. And one of them said, well, you know, who'd want to have a wife who was a mathematician, marry a woman who's a mathematician? And that Joe said, well, I did. And
actually, it took me quite a while to realize that my father was different from most fathers I knew. In the 1950s, no one else's father played the guitar, for example. Dad's guitar playing and singing has been central to my life for 57 years, and for many of them, I took his eclectic repertoire for granted. It never occurred to me that few kids were sung to sleep with Art Roberts' physics songs.
He always brought energy, creativity, humor, and occasionally music to our gatherings.
There once was a sprinter in action who lost his best race by a fraction. When he came to the tape, he had altered his shape by the Fitzgerald-Lawrence contraction. But the Fitzgerald-Lawrence contraction should not be so partial in action. If the loser was thinner, still more so the winner, the greater the final contraction. But the Fitzgerald-Lawrence contraction could be foxed by astute mental action. If at first he'd gone fast, then slowed down near the last, he'd stretch out to his great satisfaction.